Lesson 31, Functions. Example 1. Determine if the relationship represents a function. So, in order to check if it's a function, for every x there can only be one y. So, if you look at this table, you'll see that for x there is 2, and the output, which is y, is 3. And then if you go all the way to the end, there's 2 again, and the output is 6. So for it to be a function, the output would have to be the same. In this case, they are not. So this is not a function. Example 2. Determine if the relationship represents a function. For this one, we're checking the x's and making sure that it has the same y, because for every x, there can only be one y. So when we look at the table, we have -1 for our x, -1 for our y, 2 for our x, -4 for our y, 5 for our x, -7 for our y, and then 8 for our x, and -10 for our y. A quick way to check to see if it's a function, if all the x's are different and they don't repeat, then it will be a function. So in this case, this table is a function. Example 3. Determine if the relationship represents a function. So now we're going to see if this graph is a function. And what we'll do is the vertical line test. That means we're going to draw vertical lines on the graph. And if that vertical line or any of the vertical lines touch the graph in more than one place, then it's not a function. So as you noticed on the graph, that right here, the line intersects the graph, and right there. So it intersects in more than one place, multiple times in this graph. So this graph is not a function. Example 4. Determine if the relationship represents a function. So once again on this graph, we're going to use the vertical line test. Remember, if the vertical line touches the graph more than once, it's not a function. In this case, you'll notice that the vertical lines only touch the graph once. So in this case, this graph represents a function. Sentence frame for functions. A blank is a set of ordered pairs x and y so that each x value corresponds to exactly one y value. One variable, often x, represents the input, and the other variable, often y, represents the output for a function. So when you look at the function y equals 2x plus 9, 2x plus 9 is the function rule, the y is the output, and the x is the input. Sentence frame 2 for functions. The input values of a function are also called the blank coordinates. And the output values of a functions are also called the blank coordinates.